Hey YouTube, I'm getting ready to put this thing back together. I figured I'd take a couple minutes out here to try to take a quick video of this since I couldn't find anything else on YouTube that covered a 2008 View with all-wheel drive and replacing the wheel bearing on it. In any event, there's a couple videos that are on YouTube right now that don't have the all-wheel drive and make it a lot easier, or look a lot easier, to be able to get the hub off. The problem with the all-wheel drive, as you can see, is it introduces a shaft that's in here. The bolts that we got to get to are these right here, and when you look at trying to get to those from the back with everything connected, it's about impossible. I tried every which way, and as you guys can see, I'm up on a hoist in the garage, so it left me no choice after a couple choice words and trying to mess with it to go ahead and pop the shock out, push the shock up, and got it out of the way, which still didn't get me into it. It's basically the coil spring that gets in the way of getting to anything back there. Because the bolts are in so darn tight, you have to use an impact wrench or have the ability to get a breaker bar up in there to get them off. And I still sheared one, even doing it that way by hand. That wasn't the impact wrench on the one that broke. Long story short is, for the couple seconds that it takes to bring the control arm down, take this off of the axle and go ahead and drop that down far enough to take the spring off. It then allows you to get everything back up in here and be able to use an impact wrench to get everything else out. Don't forget about this guy too. That's got to come out from the bottom. In any event, for the couple minutes that it takes to do that, it's I had to. I didn't have a choice. So I wanted to add that in there since it's not on any of the videos. One of the things that you're going to experience, especially for people doing this on the ground, is, as you can see, this hits right here. It's not very friendly. When you look at the diameter of what's going on up here and where it's got to slide in here, you can obviously see that you have to raise everything up far enough to get on the other side of that diameter to be able to get this to get in there, which means all of this has to get raised way up. And it's a lot easier said than done when what's going on here with the control arm axle, actually I don't know what this arm is called, let's just call it the axle arm, is in a different hookup and orientation on the housing here than where the control arm is. So you're having to use two jacks, one here on this side, and I used a bottle jack up under this in order to be able to both get this up high enough and get this up high enough while it's compressing the spring in order to get those two happy. And I'm sure it's going to be a few choice words to get it back in there. But I'm just trying to cover everything that'll get you that you don't think is going to get you. I had to whack it with a hammer to get it off too, in order to get that edge there to come over the diameter. Other than that, believe it or not, it's fairly simple once you got the stuff out of the way. This is all more of a logistics thing than it is anything hard. I didn't use a hammer to pull it off. I was able to come on the back side and be able to beat it off, just going ahead and using a hammer on the back side of the axle. Of course, since we have a splined axle coming through there, you got to take a little bit of care. Don't just get on there and beat on it. But you know what? It came off pretty easy. It came off a lot easier than the wheel coming out of the brake thing. So once you get all of this off, this is going to come off in here. This is all going to come off, this is all going to come off as one piece. Once you get that over to the bench, this got a little bit confusing, and I had to get the new hub out in order to see what was going on, because the thing's just, if you have never done this before, some stuff just doesn't always come right out when it's all rusted. And what I'm getting at is you can see that this is going through this hole here, and on the plate itself, you got this. and I screwed up and thought that was part of the hub. So once I got this unit over to the table, I started beating on this to get it off, which obviously isn't gonna work. I had it upside down, and I was beating it from this side to try to get the plate off of this. Well, this is all welded. It's one piece, and this plate, which the hub comes through and goes onto before it goes back up into here, is all one piece. And I'll tell you what, getting these two apart was threefold, getting it off the actual axle. You'll see the other fellow with the front wheel drive hits us with map gas and goes down that road. I had to do the same thing. So, you know, it was just a matter of the map gas and taking it from the other side and beating the heck out of it around here until it came out of the hole. It basically rusts and welds itself down to here. So, you'll see on the video from the other guy, he hits it with the map gas, and a couple minutes it just comes right out. And let me tell you, it's a couple cuss words. There's the bolt that sheared off while I was taking it off. What really burned me up with that was it started backing its way out. I didn't shear it off, breaking it loose. All of these bolts, for whatever reason, and you'll see this in the other video too, you got to keep going back and forth with them for whatever reason. It must be the Loctite or whatever the heck they're using. Here's the new one I had to replace it with. And as you can see, it does have that Loctite on there. But I had to go back and forth, even with the impact wrench. I got a 400-pound impact wrench. And I didn't want to break anything again. These bolts are $20 a piece if you get them from the dealership. And they're like $30 for a pack of 4 if you get them online. But good luck trying to come up with that number. Damn, I'll write it in the description when I post this. I forgot to bring the damn wrapper out here so I could give you the number on it for anybody that's got to get the bolts for it. I'll also put the torque numbers. They're really hard to find, but I'll put the torque numbers on there also. So all of that's covered. In any event, so much for a minute. This is actually like 7 minutes. I'm just trying to cover everything for the sorry guy in 2020 that has to still own a 2008 rust bucket and has to deal with putting one of these wheel bearings on. So I like to contribute since I get so much off of YouTube itself. And good luck to you guys.